So my name is Mike Finneran. I'm Head of Drama and Theatre Studies at MIC Limerick College. In a nutshell, what am I? Well, I am an academic, so I'm a teacher, I'm a researcher, but I'm also an artist. And I suppose the reason I start with all of those things is because drama at MIC Limerick College, particularly our single honours programme, our BA in Contemporary and Applied Theatre Studies, touches upon all of those things. It recognises and it celebrates drama as a very academic subject in terms of its study and its analysis and its background, but it celebrates drama in its artistic form through making and understanding and viewing theatre, and obviously we do a lot of teaching and a lot of learning. So all of those things are at the heart of what drama is all about. So folks, I'm going to talk to you for about 20 minutes and just tell you a little bit about the programme. For those who are interested, tell you a little bit about how you get in. And then after that, we'll go back to some Q&A and we'll have an opportunity to ask and address some more specific questions that you might have. But I'm going to start with sharing my screen. So this is my formal title. So I'm Dr. Michael Finneran, and as I say, you know, we do the scholarly thing as well as the artistic thing quite well here, if I say so myself. And as Rachel said, I'm Head of Drama and Theatre Studies. My email address is there if people ever wanted to contact me. And the programme that I'm going to be speaking to you about today is the BA in Contemporary and Applied Theatre Studies, which is MI 001, which is a 4-year level 8 or honours degree programme. And the BA CATS has been here. We've just graduated our 3rd cohort of students from the BA CATS program. So that means, I guess, that we're 6, maybe 7 years old. It's a relatively new drama and theatre studies program. And in terms of Ireland as a whole, it's a really new and innovative program, I think, and a really exciting departure perhaps from some of the other theatre programs that you might find in the other universities. It's quite different because of its newness. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a while. But I suppose one of the main reasons why it's a little bit different is because it hasn't come from an English department. And that's not giving English as a language, as a wonderful language or colloquial language, a hard time. It's simply that we're not as perhaps concerned with the study of texts as might be the case elsewhere. So the BA CATS program is very much a hybrid program. And it combines, you know, the study of the art form itself with its history and with its theory. And right through this presentation, you will see lots of imagery of our students. But I think before we get into details, I think it's really important because I know lots of people on the call will be wondering, well, why, you know, it's quite a specialized thing to do at university or college. Why a degree in drama and theatre studies? What can possibly come of it? And I know as well that there's lots of perhaps parents or guardians or loved ones who sometimes are quite concerned that, oh, well, you know, maybe I should do something more broad, or am I going into a very kind of specific cul-de-sac if I do drama and theatre studies? And what I say, I suppose, in response to that is that a degree in drama, as with any degree, you know, this is your foundation base. This is your starting point in your 3rd level education. It's not a commitment for life. You know, so if you do the BA CATS program, it's not to say that you will be spending your life doing drama and theatre studies. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll turn out to be an Oscar-winning actor, or maybe you'll turn out to write plays for the Abbey Theatre or wherever it might be. But equally, it may well be that you go on to become a teacher. It may well be that you go on to work in business. It may well be that you go on to work in retail, whatever it might be. So a degree you need to think of as a starting point. And I think what better starting point can you have, and I'll tell you why in a few moments, than a degree in drama. And, you know, I think it's important at this stage as well, for those of you on the call, to recognise that going to college should be a matter of the heart as much as a matter of the head. That you know, you're at an age where you know, you get to choose now. You get to decide, having gone through the school system, which is by its nature very, very broadly oriented. You're at a stage where you get to specialize. You get to follow your heart. You get to follow your passion, your desire, your soul, and that you need to honor that. I think that's important too, and never underestimate the importance of, you know, we always talk about a correlation between people who are really motivated about their studies and overall success. If you're motivated about what you study at college, you will do better. It's as simple as that. So acknowledge that passion. And I think, as with so many and many of you may have been at the BA program earlier on today, and my colleague David spoke at that about drama on the joint honours program. But, you know, taking a degree in the arts and humanities is very much about, you know, going through a portal. It's a gateway into a world of exploration in literature and business and culture, academia. You know, I've just come out of a lecture with the 1st year class, and I was teaching about the medieval period and, you know, that time of darkness in Western civilization, and going into the Renaissance and the Medicis and Leonardo da Vinci and the Italian Renaissance and the birth of opera and Commedia dell'arte. And I make the point to the students, that actually the stuff that we're teaching there is as germane to history, to geography, to politics as it is to drama and theatre studies. So a degree in the arts, it should be considered because it is all of those things. And particularly if you're passionate about performance, if you're passionate about the arts, about drama and theatre studies, passionate about other people, I think drama is a great place to begin. So, it's all of those things. And jumping right to the very end, what you get from a degree in drama and theatre studies is not just, this incredible knowledge base of the world traditions of performance, but you also get a lot of what we call transferable skills. And these are of increasing importance in the world that we live in now, because I suppose once upon a time when I was your age, perhaps, which is neither today nor yesterday, you went to college, you did a degree, and it was assumed that you would have a career in that degree area. That connection is less than it used to be. Increasingly, as I've already said, an undergraduate degree is a starting point. But what we give you in an undergraduate degree in the arts and in the humanities are so many skills that are applicable to whatever professional life you choose to live. And you can see them on the screen in front of you. Studying drama and theatre studies improves, and I can say this definitively, improves confidence, your ability to present in front of a group, obviously performance. And of course, performance is not just performance on stage, but performance in a boardroom, performance in a meeting, performance in a presentation. Teamwork, collaboration are at the heart of what we do, but also some really kind of mundane things like time management, organizational skills. These are things we teach. You can't be late for a rehearsal. You can't be late for an entrance on stage. Self-awareness, self-discipline, an open mind, and an ability and a desire to move beyond boundaries is at the heart of exploring through and within drama. But also things like communication skills, how to speak to your peers, how to speak to people in charge of you, analytical, critical research skills, being able to go to a performance and break it down. Again, think of the skills that are at the heart of that. And that are applicable to sport, but are also applicable to the world of business, or commerce, or literature, for example. And it's probably not a terribly popular thing to say, but we criticize people. We say you could do better here, and you could do better there, always in a very formative and in a very productive way. But again, the ability to take criticism, to learn from it, and the ability to work hard are not to be underestimated as qualities. Again, you're seeing various images as I go through the presentation of our students. This is a wonderful play by Bertolt Brecht, The Irresistible Rise of Arturo Ui, which we did when a new American president came to office a number of years ago. I thought it was right and appropriate that we do a play about the emergence of a dictator. That might be slightly controversial, but we're not afraid to deal with topics like that. So why Mary I, and why a degree in contemporary and applied theatre studies? Well, first of all, I suppose the degree title signals the fact that, that we're slightly different to perhaps other universities and other colleges. But this is fundamentally a broadly based undergraduate program covering all aspects of modern drama and theatre. So it's contemporary. It's looking more at how drama is made in the 21st century than it is perhaps in the 15th century or in the 18th century. That's not to say we don't look at the past. Of course we do. You have to understand Shakespeare and Chekhov and the Greeks before you can make contemporary theatre. But we're really interested in drama in the here and now. We're really interested in street theatre. We're really interested in devised theatre, site-specific theatre. The really kind of, I was at the Dublin Theatre Festival and I saw a play called The Book of Names, which was set in the Docklands. And it was about, the War of Independence and people, people who were fighting for Irish freedom, and their name went into a book of names. So that's where a lot of Irish theatre is at now. It's really exciting spaces, exciting concepts, really relevant to modern Ireland. It's a lot more that than it is perhaps the Sean O'Casey and Brian Free tradition, which is still very, very important. So we've a specific focus on new and contemporary modes of theatre production, as well as the way in which drama and theatre are used beyond stage performance. Because one of the first things I do when I meet a new bunch of first years is I start to say, well, how many jobs exist in the theatre? And of course, everyone says actor, because the reality is most of you have had positive experiences, perhaps in performance or in acting, and that's why you're here today. But of course, what I do then is I put acting up in the top corner of my whiteboard, because that's only one job. And then we proceed to fill the rest of the whiteboard with so many other jobs. So there's producers, there's directors, there's dramaturgs, there's theatre facilitators, there's program managers, there's stage managers, deputy stage managers, technical directors. There's myriad jobs in this field. Many of them often hidden, because of course in theatre studies you tend to see acting, and you tend to That's the tip of the iceberg. But 90% of the work that goes on in our field is hidden below the surface and no less rich. So we teach you about all of those things. We teach you about what a dramaturg does, what a dramatherapist does, and obviously what actors do as well, because we need actors as well. So in the program, students have an opportunity to get to develop their own artistic skills and specialize in particular areas of interest to them. So lots of our students might be interested in stage management. One of our fourth years at the moment is directing a play. That's her area of passion. So she's directing a play with other students in it, and we're examining that as part of her work. And we teach you about the academic traditions in drama and theatre studies, everything from cultural management to technical skills to how drama is used in schools and in youth groups. But also we allowed students to encounter an extensive range of professional practice. So our students last weekend were at the Bell Table to see a show that was in the Dublin Theatre Festival called Duck Duck Goose, which is about feminism in contemporary Ireland. Our third year students are on placement at the moment, working all over the country. Some of them at the Galway International Arts Festival, some in Cork, some here in Limerick, and working with professional theatre makers, and there's great opportunities for that. This image that you see in front of you is from a site-specific piece that we did in an old meditation space that's here on the campus, and I think it's a really good image. It captures the kind of modern feel to a lot of our work. So in terms of nuts and bolts, MI001, folks, is a 4 years honours undergraduate program. So from the University of Limerick, obviously all the MIC programs are academically granted by UL. So it's a level 8 program, the same as an honours degree from UCD or NUIG or wherever it might be. Application is through the CAO MI001. So make sure you remember that number. It's pretty much an easy one to remember, I think. And we have special entry routes for mature students. We always have quite a number of mature students, and you don't have to be very mature, I hasten to add. Students over 23 years of age are more than welcome to our programs. And we also have very special entry routes, and this has become increasingly used over the last number of years for QQI, FETAC, FET, further education, and training sector applicants. So if you fall into one of those categories, if you're in the further education sector or if you're a mature student, get onto our website, look for more details, mic.ie, or get in touch with us, either through the Q&A at the end of this, or get in touch with us by email afterwards. We offer up to 25 places on the program. We're building slowly towards that. At the moment, our intake is sometimes around 10, 12, mostly on the BA program. But our BA CATS program, our students study alongside the BA students. So, you're often in a lecture. There was, nearly 60 in my lecture this morning. We have a lot of international students. A lot of people pick up our modules as well as elective modules. One of the things that's interesting about our entry is we don't have an audition or an interview process. That's unusual because a lot of other programs still do. Let me tell you why. It's driven by the belief that everyone should have the right to study drama and theatre studies. That this is not an actor training program. If you are interested in acting, clearly your skills will improve here, but it's not specifically an actor training program. Because our school system has quite sporadic accommodation, shall we say, for drama and theatre studies. You may have been fortunate enough to go to a school or to a school with drama or to a place that had youth theatre, but equally you may not. But we want to accommodate anyone with a passion, anyone who's really interested and motivated about drama is more than welcome here. So we don't audition or interview people. It is our job to teach you about drama. You are welcome to come here. And obviously the college offers a hugely generous range of scholarships to incentivize people to come and study. Again, just some imagery, some of the posters of our work. We perform our work in, we're unique in that we perform all our work in professional theatres. We have 2 incredible theatre spaces affiliated with the college, the Lime Tree Theatre, which is here on our campus, and then the Bell Table, which is a kilometre away. So, the 2 plays on the left and right, Crucible and Arturo We, were performed in the Bell Table. Now, what specific modules will you study here in college? Well, we offer a huge range of modules. So as you'll know from perhaps attending other talks or other open days, university programs are based up of individual kind of units or modules or courses within them, which you have to pass independently of each other. So the list you see in front of you, again, fills out some of the things I was talking about earlier. These are the modules that we offer, and you get a sense of them, just where the moments of kind of personal intellectual growth will come, where the moments of artistic growth will come, and where the moments of kind of applied growth. So applied being that skill set that's used beyond the theatre. So you can see there drama education, for example, social and applied theatre is in there. storytelling, poetry. They're applied skills that are specifically put into the program to make sure that you're really employable and that that you can work in the sector afterwards. Cultural policy and administration, they're all applied skills. But we have everything else in there, from contemporary Irish theatre, modern Irish theatre, performance and music, stagecraft production and technical theatre. And on the top right hand side of your screen, you'll see ensemble performance by 3. So within our program, we have 3 full productions, and they're double weighted modules. And that is where you get credit and you are assessed on the basis of taking part in a play. So this is where our single honours program differs quite substantially to the joint honours programs. Though those students don't get a chance to be in a play and to have that assessed as part of the coursework. On MI001, you get to be in a play, you work with professional directors, and you get to perform, if that's what you wish to do, on a professional stage 3 times as part of your program. So that's a really important selling point, I think. But we have research skills, undergraduate research projects. So elements of a traditional university education are in there, as well as those applied and artistic skills. There's another wonderful image of some students now graduated performing in another space here on campus. The uniqueness of our program, I suppose I've tried to distill it into a short list of 10 reasons why, 10 things that are different about our program to maybe programs elsewhere in the university sector. We have small class sizes. You get a lot of intensive tuition from really expert tutors. I'll introduce my colleagues in a little while. Our programs are offered in conjunction with 2 professional theatres. So you get to work in these spaces, you get to see work in these spaces. You get to meet the staff, so Jay, who's our technical director, comes in and teaches some of our stagecraft module. Louise, who's our artistic director, our executive director, comes in and talks about programming. You get to meet real life theatre makers. We do master classes with people who come through, and so on. I've already talked about this being an accessible program for anyone who has a passion but doesn't maybe have a background or hasn't been in a position to access drama and theatre. We have a 50-50 balance between studio and classroom time, and that's an important one for you, because lots of people going to college want to know that they'll have time in the studio, want to know that they'll have time to make drama. We have that. We have specialist teaching spaces, expert teaching staff, cutting edge research. And that's important because you want your lecturers in college, you want them to be the best at what they do. And I think, I'll show you some of our books and publications in a while. All of our staff here are internationally renowned researchers, and we bring that knowledge, that new knowledge, into our studios and into our classrooms to train you and to teach you. Year 3 of the program, as with all University of Limerick degrees, is off campus, and you can study abroad or you can work with professional providers. We place our students ourselves, so they go and they work with Landmark, or they go and work with Graffiti in Cork, or Branner in Galway, or wherever it might be, the Gate in Dublin. We've placed students all over the country. 3 full productions. And a unique blend, not derived from an English department, but a unique blend not seen elsewhere. There's the team, that's the 4 of us, looking resplendent as always. And as I said to you, we publish a lot, so you'll see our books there. The book on the right hand side, The Golden Thread, was an incredible 2-volume book looking at Irish women playwrights across the last 300 years in Ireland. But you can see all the stuff that we teach about education, applied theatre, critical themes, is up there, and so on and so forth. This is a wonderful image of the Lime Tree Theatre, which is our home from home. Our first year students, our BA and our BA CAT students are in there a lot. I'll be taking my group in there next week, performing up on that stage and doing workshops up on that stage. Incredible space, 510 seat auditorium. Even if you don't come to do our program, come and see some work there. It's limetreetheatre.ie, absolutely fantastic. And here's some more posters of kind of the work that we do. Some traditional work, you can see Brian Field there, and some Tom Murphy on the left hand side. Where does one go after a degree in drama theatre studies? Well, the world is your oyster as far as I'm concerned. But our graduates, typically, we've only graduated 3 classes, so we're just beginning to get a sense of this. Lots of them go into theatre. Lots of them become theatre facilitators, stage managers. One of our graduating classes now working in the Bell Table as a deputy stage manager. So directly into employment with excellent communication, teamwork, and creative and entrepreneurial skills. Further academic study in the field of drama and theatre. Again, another girl from our graduating class is coming straight back to do a PhD with us. She got a first-class honours degree. She's after getting a scholarship from the college, and she's going to come back to do her doctorate with us, to train to be a researcher and possibly a lecturer. Some people will go on to do further. We've had people go on to do actor training in the UK and in Ireland. People go straight into employment with venues or with media, with marketing. And some people set up, 2 of our graduates from 2 years ago have set up a drama school out in Killaloe and in Nina, and they're running workshops and teaching kids all over the North Tipperary area, and they, those two fantastic women are, I suppose, they're essentially they're dramatic entrepreneurs at this stage, doing a really, really good job. And some people come back and do teacher education, maybe move into PME primary, and so on and so forth. And drama isn't really a subject at second level yet, so it's a little bit more difficult for PME secondary, but hopefully in the years to come that will change. I'm fairly convinced of that. And I'm going to leave you with some of these images. I know Rachel will be eager to come back in here. But even in the midst of lockdown last year, these are the 3 plays we put up last year. So I suppose I'm finishing with these just to show you our versatility, but also our sheer passion for making theatre. So Girls Like That was directed by Barbara Niqueeve, who's an award-winning Irish playwright. We put that on in the lime tree. You can see the guys there in their masks. Pot and Kettle and How the Vote Won, that was our first year play. And then Don't Hate the Player was our second year piece. No audiences, they were all streamed and recorded, but the students still got to come in and got to perform them 3 times. And we had no COVID cases, so I'm incredibly proud of what they did in all of that. Here in Mary I as well, just to finish this, we have an incredible drama society. That's Midas. I've worked with them for many years. You can see imagery there from Les Miserables, from Starlight Express, and then from A Chorus Line, which was our last show before lockdown. So drama exists here. The place lives and breathes drama. So come here and take MI001. You won't regret it. So that's me. I am going to stop sharing at that stage and hand back to you, Rachel.
Mike, that is great. Thank you so much for that presentation. And I think one thing is for certain is your passion absolutely comes off the screen as you're talking about it, which is really important for people who are interested in studying drama and theatre studies. I know you mentioned there about the performances that are produced and done by the students of the BA CATS program, and I can definitely personally vouch for the venues. They're fantastic. Having attended many events there. I just wanted to come back. A question that we're often asked is about whether somebody needs a background in acting. And I know you said that there were different roles in those productions. So do the students get to choose which type of role they could do?
They do, Rachel. Yeah, absolutely. So we chat to. It's a really good question, and thank you for asking that. And whoever put it to you in the first place, thank you to them as well. We always differentiate between the fact that we're not an actor training program, so we don't force people into acting, and we recognize that lots of people. So, for example, where I went to school, I'm from Roscommon originally. There was very little drama available in my secondary school, and it was only when I went to college actually that I became interested in drama. So, if you had said to me, "God, you need to be in a play when you're 18 or 19," that would have petrified me, to be honest with you. And I'm still not a performer. I direct and I design. So, in answer to your question, in first year, we encourage everyone to perform in the piece that we perform in first year, but we look at their ability and we look at their comfort level, and we start to say, well, maybe you should have maybe more of a principal part, or maybe you should be part of the ensemble, some of the company. And that's the only point at which we insist that people perform, because after that, then we begin to have a dialogue with our students about maybe whether they want to work in production or in technical theatre or in stage management. They'll all still be on the same show, but they might be a deputy stage manager, or they might be a lighting operator, or they might be looking after props, or they might be working as an assistant to the director. So everyone performs once, because you have to understand where you're at in terms of performance. You have to have at least one experience of that. But then after that, no, we have a conversation with people about whether performance is their thing, because it's not. And yes, loads and loads of people come to theatre because they're passionate about acting, or they would love to be an actor on film and screen. But what we find is that as soon as people discover all these other areas, they kind of go, oh, I'd love to be doing that, or I'd love to be interested in that. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does actually. And actually, on the flip of that, it had just occurred to me, if performance was my thing, if acting was really my thing, is that only is it possible that somebody would come along and just do acting type roles,
100%.
or would they be exposed to?
Yeah, they're exposed to all the other bits and pieces, in the sense that they do modules about the other bits and pieces. So then they'll have to understand the basics of how a lighting desk will work, or how QLab, which is our sound system, would work, or what a props master does on a production. But yeah, but if acting is your thing, then absolutely we hone in on that, and you get to work with acting coaches. You get to work with our directors, all of whom all of whom help hone that, because we obviously, people are passionate about acting, and that's a skill we want to really, really improve in them. But also, we encourage people to branch out from that as well, because the natural kind of sister disciplines, shall we say, of acting are writing and directing. So we have modules specifically in writing for theatre and in directing for theatre, because if you're an actor, then maybe try your hand at writing a play, which our students do in that module, or in directing a piece, which our students do in that module as well. So we take that core interest and we try to extend and expand upon it.
That's great. Thanks so much. I know you'd mentioned that there's no audition as part of the entrance requirements. We're often asked if there's a requirement for a portfolio.
Yeah, and no, that's a really good question, and it's one that's asked of me quite a bit as well. And the answer is no. We don't we have no additional requirements other than, so if you're kind of in the kind of situation that most of our entrance candidates, most of our incoming students would be, which is they're just doing your Leaving Cert this year, you're probably 17, 18, 19, whatever it might be. All you need to do is list MI001 along with your other CAO preferences, preferably at the top. That will be where we'd love to see you go. And you need to do nothing else. You won't have any further communication with us. And you rock up here in September 2022, and we meet you. And we assume, you know, we do a lot of backfilling in the first semester. So we have a module on movement in the first semester where people just become acquainted with moving in a studio. We've a big long module on introduction. We backfill a lot of stuff that might be perhaps missing. We introduce people to the canon of Irish literature. So the program is specifically and deliberately set up to introduce people as if they have an understanding and a sense of what it is, but really never encountered it in any substantial way before.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. We have a question as well about the third year of the program, the off-campus year.
Sure.
And the question is about whether it's possible to go abroad on study abroad placements.
Yeah, really good question again. And as with all our programs, yes is the answer straight away. You know, we have a student, believe it or not, even in the middle of the pandemic, we've one of our third year students that's currently in Pennsylvania in Gannon University studying theatre over there. So we have a really vibrant network. Mary Macklin College has sister universities all over the world with whom we have linkage agreements. So we encourage our students to go abroad and to experience what it might be like to be a theatre student in the UK or in China or in Denmark or in the US, wherever it might be. And you can do that for the full year, Rachel. You can go for the full year in year 3, or you can mix and match, and you can do half and half. So you might go abroad for your autumn and then do professional work placement for the spring. So again, within our system in UL and in Mary I, we have 2 semesters, the autumn and the spring, and they're separate to each other, 2 terms. So you can do one abroad and one professional placement, or a full year of either. And we have great flexibility. And one of my colleagues, David Clare, is actually American, but so I suppose particularly, you know, he looks after our international incoming and outgoing, because we have a lot of international students come here to study. You know, in first year at the moment, we have a Romanian student, we have a South African student, you know, we have students from the US, from China. So it's a real international flavor to our program, which is really exciting for us. But yeah, David is really knowledgeable about where our students can go and study abroad. And as I say, we have some fantastic partnerships all over the world.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. And yeah, as with everything else in Mary I, there is loads of help and advice and guidance for students in all aspects of the program, including the off-campus year. And what a brilliant way to combine your studies and your interests with seeing a bit of the world. Listen, I'd love to be back in college again. And some of us actually found out what we were good at while we were doing our off-campus placements. So
yeah, no,
another good
you know,
reason.
funny. I have a sister in a different field completely. She's a lawyer, and you know, she was in UCD, but went abroad to France for a semester, and in that time found out what her discipline within law was going to be. And I think so. Your experience and my sister's experience would be common to a lot of people. And I did my postgraduate work abroad in the UK as well. And I think that experience of leaving this little island of ours for a little while, even if it's only for 3 or 4 months, is a really, really rich and rewarding one, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it absolutely gives people an advantage going into that first postgraduate interview, whether it's for an employer or a postgraduate program, because you've actually got something to talk about and to talk about what you've gained while you've been doing these wonderful things. Thanks for that. The other thing that we are often asked is what kind of balance, what kind of mix is there between theory and the more practical side of the program? Is it kind of 50-50?
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50 and then 33. I'm using two sets of ratios there. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So the balance we try to strive always in every semester is that 50% of your time would be in the studio, 50% of your time would be in a traditional kind of classroom setting. So, you know, the very first semester, first year, which our incoming first years are doing at the moment, is a classic example of that. You know, kind of 2.5 modules are quite classroom based, lots of readings, tutorials, seminar groups, and same as the study of drama. Let's say if you were doing it within an English or a BA framework, you know, kind of classroom. And then the other 50% of their time is in a movement studio or in a drama studio or on the theatre, you know, working, hanging lights and doing things like that. So 50-50 typically through all the semesters is the balance we strive for between classroom and studio. And then the other balance is kind of 33-33-33. And what I mean by that is that always we in a year we try to have 1/3 of the studies kind of being that traditional academic work in terms of intellectual development of the self, development of one's own intellect and knowledge of the world. 1/3 which are very oriented towards applied and transferable skills. So things like cultural policy and management, drama education, a real practical toolkit that makes sure our graduates are employable in the world. And then the final third is that development of the kind of artistic, you know, the kind of what does it mean to be a better actor? What does it mean to be a better director? What does it mean to be a better stage manager? So those, you know, we think really hard about maintaining all those balances. And as a result, Rachel, I have to say, and you know this from knowing our students, they tend to be a very happy bunch, because I think they find that they're being prodded and poked in a whole pile of different but complementary fashions. It's a program you have to be good at lots and lots and lots of different things, I think, to excel at it, really, in some respects. But that makes it sound really hard. I don't mean it that way. I think what I mean is that it catches everyone in a sweet spot somewhere. You know that we generally, whether you're more kind of studious in terms of that academic mode or whether you're more expressive in terms of the artistic mode, it gets the benefit of you somewhere along the line. I haven't put that particularly well, but I hope people
I get what you mean. There's something for everyone on the program.
Yeah, exactly.
The final question I had was, do students on the BA CATS program have an opportunity while they're on the program to write and produce and put on their own work?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of different places for that. Yes is the unequivocal answer to that. Sometimes within the program itself, and obviously this depends on the module structure. So some of the things I mentioned earlier, like the writing and directing for theatre, you get a chance to write your play and to direct your play and maybe perform in a play there. But also, you know, Midas, who I mentioned, I showed some of those images at the end. Midas runs all the way through the year, and now that's not, you know, that's not work that's assessed or part of your coursework, but that's where students come together with a little bit of staff guidance and put on performances for the public. And it's a really fantastic place. You know, our BA CATS and our BA and all the other programs here at MIC, you meet students from other disciplines, you get to be in a musical, you get to be in a dance performance, you get to be in a play, and you maybe get to scratch an itch that you haven't had a chance to do on the program. So loads of opportunities within the BA CATS for drama students, but also loads of opportunities. I'll give you a small example. You know, we do some dance work on the BA CATS program, but one of our students graduated last year was an amazing contemporary dancer, and she, you know, got together with a bunch of other students and put together kind of a dance performance, dance cabaret with Midas, which wasn't assessed for her coursework, but still represented a really important personal moment for her. So yeah, we try to accommodate all of those things.